Paul McCartney was born James Paul McCartney on June 18, 1942, in Liverpool, England, growing up in a working-class household shaped by resilience and creativity. His father, Jim McCartney, was a jazz musician who encouraged Paul's early interest in music, while his mother, Mary, worked tirelessly as a nurse. Her passing when Paul was just 14 left a deep emotional mark, one that would later echo through his songwriting. Music became both an escape and a form of expression, helping him process loss and find purpose. As a teenager, he taught himself guitar and piano, quickly showing a natural gift for melody. Those formative years built the emotional and musical foundation that would later define his career, blending personal sensitivity with an instinctive understanding of what moves people. The meeting that changed music forever. Paul's life took a historic turn in 1957 when he met John Lennon at a church fete in Liverpool. Impressed by Paul's musical skill and confidence, Lennon invited him to join his band, the Quarrymen. This partnership would evolve into one of the most influential collaborations in modern music. Together, they developed a songwriting chemistry that was both competitive and complementary, pushing each other to new creative heights. Their shared ambition and contrasting personalities became the driving force behind what would soon become the Beatles. As they refined their sound, they drew inspiration from rock and roll, skiffle, and rhythm and blues, shaping a style that felt fresh and authentic. That meeting wasn't just chance. It was the beginning of a cultural revolution that would change music forever. The Beatles and global stardom. As a member of the Beatles, Paul McCartney became one of the defining voices of a generation. Serving as bassist, vocalist, and songwriter, he contributed to a catalog of songs that remain timeless. His melodic bass lines and versatile vocals added depth to the band's sound, while his songwriting brought warmth and accessibility. Tracks like Yesterday, Hey Jude, and Let It Be showcased his ability to craft melodies that felt both simple and profound. Alongside Lennon, Paul helped guide the band through a period of rapid artistic growth, from early pop hits to experimental studio albums. Their work on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band marked a turning point, blending innovation with storytelling. McCartney's influence was central to this evolution, helping shape the Beatles into more than a band. They became a cultural phenomenon. Life after the Beatles. When the Beatles disbanded in 1970, McCartney faced the challenge of redefining himself outside the world's most famous band. Rather than retreat, he embraced the opportunity to explore new creative paths. His debut solo album introduced a more personal and introspective side, while the formation of Wings with his wife, Linda, marked a new chapter of collaboration and success. The band produced hits like Band on the Run and Live and Let Die, proving that Paul's talent extended far beyond the Beatles. His ability to adapt while staying true to his musical instincts allowed him to maintain relevance in a rapidly changing industry. Over time, he built a solo career that stood confidently alongside his earlier achievements, reinforcing his reputation as one of music's most enduring artists. Personal life and enduring love. Paul McCartney's personal life has reflected both deep love and personal resilience. His marriage to Linda McCartney was a partnership built on creativity, family, and shared values. Together, they raised children while working side by side in music, creating a life that balanced fame with normalcy. After Linda's passing in 1998, Paul faced a period of grief that deeply affected him. His later marriage to Heather Mills brought renewed attention and challenges, ultimately ending in a highly publicized divorce. In 2011, he found lasting companionship with Nancy Shevell, whose calm presence brought stability to his life. Through each chapter, McCartney has shown an ability to move forward with grace, learning from each experience while remaining grounded in what matters most: family, love, and connection. A lifelong bond with George Harrison. Among the many relationships that shaped Paul's life, his bond with George Harrison stands out as deeply meaningful. Meeting as teenagers, they shared the excitement of early success and the challenges that came with it. Paul often described George as a younger brother, quiet, thoughtful, yet fiercely independent. In the early days, their friendship was built on shared dreams and long hours of rehearsals in Liverpool and Hamburg. George's distinctive guitar style and musical curiosity added a unique dimension to the Beatles' sound. Over time, their connection evolved, shaped by both collaboration and personal growth. Despite differences, there remained an underlying respect between them. Their relationship wasn't always simple, but it was real, rooted in years of shared experiences that few others could fully understand. Creative differences and mutual respect. As the Beatles matured, so did their individual artistic voices, sometimes leading to tension. Paul's perfectionism and leadership often clashed with George's desire for greater creative freedom. Looking back, McCartney has acknowledged that he could be demanding, driven by a clear vision of how he wanted the music to sound. Meanwhile, Harrison was growing into a songwriter of remarkable depth, producing songs like Something and Here Comes the Sun. These moments highlighted his emergence as a major creative force within the band. While disagreements were inevitable, they also pushed each member to grow. Over time, Paul came to appreciate George's contributions more deeply, recognizing the importance of giving space for individuality within collaboration. Their differences, rather than diminishing their bond, ultimately enriched the music they created together. Reconciliation and final moments. In later years, particularly during George Harrison's illness, the relationship between Paul and George softened into something more reflective and peaceful. They spent time together away from the spotlight, reconnecting not as bandmates, but as friends who had shared a lifetime of memories. Conversations shifted away from music and fame towards simpler, more meaningful topics: family, life, and the passage of time. These moments brought a sense of closure, allowing both men to let go of past tensions. McCartney has spoken about feeling a quiet understanding during those final visits, as if nothing important had been left unsaid. It was a reminder that, beyond the pressures of fame, their connection was rooted in genuine affection and shared history. Remembering George through music today, Paul McCartney continues to honor George Harrison through music and memory. When performing Something in concert, he often begins with a ukulele, a nod to George's love for the instrument, before transitioning into the full arrangement. These performances carry a sense of intimacy and tribute, connecting past and present in a meaningful way. For Paul, George's influence extends beyond their time together in the Beatles. He often reflects on the lessons he learned from him: patience, spirituality, and the importance of slowing down. These reflections have shaped his outlook on life, especially in later years. Through music, Paul keeps George's spirit alive, not just for audiences, but for himself, maintaining a bond that continues long after their time together. A legacy of friendship and understanding. At this stage in his life, Paul McCartney speaks about George Harrison with a sense of gratitude and clarity. Time has softened old tensions, leaving behind an appreciation for what they shared. Their story is not just about music, but about friendship, growth, and understanding. Paul's reflections reveal a deeper truth: that relationships, even complicated ones, can evolve into something meaningful over time. As he looks back, he no longer sees rivalry or regret, but connection and legacy. George remains a constant presence in his memories, woven into the songs and moments that define their lives. In sharing these reflections, McCartney offers a reminder that behind every legend are human relationships that shape the music we cherish, making their story as timeless as the songs they created.